It's only Wednesday. We have one more day until the free agency period begins, but it's only Wednesday and the Knicks went off yesterday. And I say went off in every sense of the phrase. I was in utter shock when I found out that the Knicks found a way to get rid of the Nerlens Noel contract. I was in shock. I was so sure that Nerlens Noel and Evan Fournier would be two players that we would have the worst time to get off of our books. I thought that they would be damn near impossible. It did come with a price, but for a price for somebody else, we were also looking to ship out in Mr. Alec Burks, and it was a bittersweet move, but it is a good move nonetheless. Yes, I'm going to miss Alec Burks. I did want to see him a part of this team, but in his actual role and not at the point guard role. But that opens up the door for a certain guy that your boy is a big fan of, Quentin Grimes. Now, there's also other things that were added to that trade. You know, there's the second round picks and stuff like that. They did have to add assets to get rid of a mistake of a contract that they signed last year. But the point of the matter is, we made space, and the space has been made for a player that the Knicks have been very interested in since the beginning of, I would say since the midway point of the season. And now, after the trade that we made yesterday, that reality is a lot closer. The Knicks just freed up $19 million. And they, according to Woj and everybody, they're set to offer $110 million over the next 4 years to Jalen Brunson. A lot of things to unpack with what's about to happen. And then on top of that, after the rumors have been coming out about Dejounte Murray becoming available, now it's looking like the Knicks are supposedly behind the scenes in some kind of conversations with the Spurs. I don't know what to believe and what not to believe, but a lot of people believe that Jalen Brunson is not the end-all be-all that the Knicks are going after this offseason. Right now, the Knicks are keeping it very hush-hush, and I'm liking it. Let's talk about it. Run the intro. What's going on, CK Crucial with CK2K, and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and not forget to like this video. Make sure you go subscribe to the other channel, CK, so you can watch me stream daily over there at 7 p.m. EST. Yeah, we got a 24-hour stream coming up July 2nd, so make sure you are there for that, where we play games, do all kinds of crazy stuff. It's a variety stream, but we also make sure that we talk about our Knicks over there as well. Also, make sure you make your way over to Matchbets.com, shall you? Matchbets is a peer-to-peer sports betting platform that pits the bettors against each other for lower fees. And right now, Matchbets is doing a deal where it will match whatever you deposit up to $500 right now, especially if you hit that link in the description below to help out your boy. Yes, that's right. You're not matching a bet against the books. You're matching the bet against another player out there trying to make a similar bet. Go over to the website, check it out, use the link in the description below, and help the channel out. Thank you a lot, Matchbets, for your help. Now, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is looked to be a foregone conclusion when it comes to the New York Knicks here coming tomorrow. I mean, everyone's expecting by midnight the Knicks are going to send out their offer to Jalen Brunson, and it's supposed to be a 4-year, $110 million contract, which a lot of people are really skeptical about, me being one of them. I mean, Jalen Brunson is definitely somebody that is going to be a great piece to this team. He's going to be a, he's making those strides in the right direction as a good point guard. People are talking about size. People are talking about, this, that, and the third. But a lot of people in the Knicks organization believe that there's still another level for Jalen Brunson to reach after his run in the playoffs last year. I mean, with Luka out, Jalen Brunson had one of his best games of his career. And for him to do that in a playoff setting and save the Mavericks for another game, that is a lot of things that you can really take note of. Because, I mean, for us, when we were in the playoffs, 2 seasons ago, our star player, he kind of disappeared a little bit in that moment, our star player in Julius Randle. So to have a guy like that who has already shown himself in a key moment in the Western Conference next to a player like that, those are the kind of things that, yes, those are stuff that you want for your team. But is that $110 million worthy? That's the question a lot of people have. But you also have to realize something else. When you're the New York Knicks, beggars cannot be choosers. Trust me, this is not easy for someone like me to say, but like I mentioned, yes, this kid is not an all-star yet. It's not none of those kind of things, and you know, blobbity blobbity blobbity, but this team needs an upgrade at that position very badly. We need somebody that can run an offense. We need somebody that is not scared to take a shot. We need somebody that can make his own shot while also creating a shot for others. We need that, and Jalen Brunson is somebody that has done that pretty solidly, especially in his last season, next to a guy that's probably one of the most ball dominant players in the league. Now, no, in no way, shape, or form am I here saying that, you know, I'm okay now with the contract, but at the same time, for us to go this hard for Jalen Brunson, I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to understand what it is. I'm really hoping that maybe the Knicks, in their Nick-ly way, can figure out a way to make that 4th year a team option, so therefore the contract wouldn't be as bad. And then if he ends up being an all-star, ends up being the guy that this front office thinks he will be, then at least we got him on a nice deal. But also another thing to realize, just because we're going to sign Jalen Brunson to this deal doesn't mean that after we sign him, we are up on cash. That's not the case at all.
Now that they've created that space, and the Knicks should have extra cap space after signing Brunson, and they also have a lot of future picks going into free agency. So teams kind of looking at the landscape earlier today expected the Knicks not to be done after they bring in Brunson, presumably. So we'll see what happens there.
So yes, you know, Jalen Brunson is looking like it's about 80%, 90% real that Jalen Brunson will be donning a Knicks jersey coming this season. I mean, everybody is believing, so every report is saying that it's a done deal. You know, all points are looking this way, executives, this, that, blobbity, blobbity, blobbity. We'll see what officially happens come tomorrow. There's still the biggest part about all this. No matter what deal we send at Jalen Brunson, the Mavericks can ultimately match it if they want to. They have to do some cap space freeing of their own to match the deal, but they can match whatever deal we send them. But I would not, if the Knicks send him that, you know, offer that he can't refuse, I wouldn't see the Mavericks really ultimately matching that deal. But the point of the matter is, yes, it's a lot of money for a kid like Jalen Brunson, especially with RJ Barrett coming up. We're looking for his extension, you know, with the amount of money we just gave Julius Randle. And that's another thing we have to think about. We don't even know if Julius Randle is going to be a part of this team long term, because if Julius Randle has another one of those seasons where he's just up and down emotionally, not much of a help for this New York Knicks team, regardless of what the stats are, and he ends up becoming more of a headache than a help on the court. The Knicks have been gauging offers for Julius Randle, and they can flip that contract for something else. We don't know what can happen, so don't completely get yourself in a hole of the Knicks did all this just to get Jalen Brunson. We need an upgrade at the point guard position. So yes, if we did do all of this for Jalen Brunson, realize one thing: at the very least, we figured out a point guard situation, and at what cost? At the cost of money, but beggars can't be choosers. If we're an organization that cannot solidify any of these other point guards, we need to make sure we make this point now. Especially if another rumor is true, like I mentioned at the top, that Ian Begley said this. A lot of people believe that Jalen Brunson is not the only thing that the Knicks are planning to go ahead and do when this free agency starts up.
And then some teams, you know, who are looking at the bigger landscape here. They don't think that Brunson is kind of the last move here for the Knicks this offseason. Like maybe they create enough cap space to go after another player, or you look at all the draft picks that they have, future picks, and those teams see the Knicks potentially being active in the trade marketplace. Obviously, Dejounte Murray's name is out there. I don't know what the Knicks' level of interest is, but you know, opposing teams see Brunson and Murray as a really, really attractive fit in the backcourt.
A lot of eyes are pointing toward Dejounte Murray. There's a possibility, not very likely in my opinion. I don't see how likely this really is. The Spurs are said to be asking for a lot. If you ask me, I'm giving it to them. They can have Julius Randle plus 50,000 picks. I don't care what y'all want. The two of them plus RJ Barrett, that should be fun. I'd rather that, and then have Obi Toppin run. It'd be a fun young team, especially in today's NBA, guys that could play off each other. You saw how a lot of that worked in teams like like this, like the Cleveland Cavaliers. But there's thoughts, like Ian Begley just said, there's thoughts that the Knicks are also looking to make space to do something else along with Jalen Brunson. Is it Dejounte Murray? Could it still be Donovan Mitchell with the shift up that's going on over there with Utah? I mean, we're not hearing any rumors about it anymore, but we have to realize they just made a shift with David Fizdale being one of their associate GMs. They just made a shift at hiring Will Hardy as a new head coach. A lot of things are changing up over there. A big reason why Donovan Mitchell in the first place re-signed with that team was Quinn Snyder. He's no longer there. So is that a move that they're secretly under the radar trying to make? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just grasping for straws at this point. But like Ian Begley said, a lot of executives and a lot of people, a lot of other front offices are believing that this Jalen Brunson thing is not the only thing that they're planning on. Now, mind you, they're still going to make an attempt at Mitchell Robinson. We're probably going to be retaining him, but there's also the possibility that Mitchell Robinson sees another deal out there where he might be, wanting to go for that right now and go for that bag somewhere else. You never know what happens with Mitch. But if it is a Dejounte Murray or a Donovan Mitchell, it's something that we should be excited about. If you're able to pair these two and in the process, probably dropping a contract like Julius Randle, it might be something that can help us out long term. So there's a lot to keep your eyes open for when this free agency starts. I'm sure by the time I'm editing this video, there's a lot of news that's going on in the rumor wire right now with the New York Knicks. But as of right now, all signs are pointing towards the Knicks going full-fledged for Jalen Brunson come Thursday. I don't know if it's happening at midnight. I don't know if it's happening right away. But with the relationship of Leon Rose, with the relationship of, his pops being on the team and Tom Thibodeau and his pops' relationship, there's so many nepotistic factors. I don't know if that's a word, but there's so many factors to the connection of Jalen Brunson. It's looking like that the Knicks are going to go in that direction for a lot of money. I'm really trying to talk myself off of a cliff as much as I'm trying to talk y'all off of a cliff. Let's realize, guys, we don't have that point guard option. I know there's a lot of people that are believing IQ could be it, and you know what? There is probably a world where that might be the case. But to get a guy like Jalen Brunson, who we know has proved himself in the playoffs and is not scared of the moment, to me, those are big key factors in this signing more than anything else that he's done in his career. And I feel like for him to be able to hold his own, I had him on fantasy basketball and he had a lot of great nights throughout this season. For him to be able to hold his own next to a guy like Luka Doncic that is very, 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 very ball dominant, there's a lot of signs for him to be a bright piece for this team long term. And maybe he plays up to his contract. You never know who's going to stop him on this team. Who stops him from doing what he did in the playoffs on a nightly basis on this team? Nobody, really. And to be honest, I feel like him and RJ Barrett can play off each other really well. So there's a lot of positives next to this contract. I know, just looking at it, outside looking in, you're seeing a lot of money going to Jalen Brunson. People are thinking this, that, and the third. But this could be a deal that we could look down the line and say, like, damn, yeah, they went after the right guy. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, we're going to find out everything tomorrow when free agency begins. It's going to be a roller coaster of a ride, and let's buckle up, shall we? What are your guys' thoughts about the Jalen Brunson signing? Too much money? Enough money? Are we over the talk about the money? Should we just get the player because he's at a position we need? What are your thoughts about Jalen Brunson? Let me know in the comments below. And what are your thoughts about what Ian Begley said about him not being the only move the Knicks are looking to make? Who do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be a trade for Dejounte Murray? Do you think it's what I'm thinking, like Donovan Mitchell behind the scenes that they're trying to work out? Let me know your thoughts about all of that in the comments below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Do not forget to like this video. Make sure you subscribe over to the other channel, CK. Looking for you there. Links in the description below. And also join Matchbets so you can support the channel. All right, I'm out of here. Let's get it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Like I always say, I've said my piece. Now I gotta hear what y'all gotta say. It's gonna be a crazy, crazy few days, y'all. Crazy few days.
Cold pizza Tuesday. I got food up in the fridge. Y'all keep looking for that new way. I think I like it how it is.